Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today we are going to do a repot of this poor, sad Oncidium. What is it? It might not be an Oncidium. It's an Oncidium. Is it? How do you say that? Burnensis? It's an Oncidium type. It's an intergeneric. Stefan lava flow. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant, and I got it on a discount. I can't remember. I think it was between $5 and $10, and it was just finishing blooming. And I brought it downstairs when I brought it home because there wasn't really any blooms. I think the bloom spike was actually broken off at the store, and I brought it downstairs and I was going to repot it. I just didn't have the time, and then when I did have the time, I'm like, oh, look at, there's another flower spike, so I let it do its thing. Realistically, I should have repotted it right away, because look at the state of this plant. This plant looks really bad. It's got a new growth right here. It's got some new roots happening here. This pseudobulb here doesn't look the happiest. These pseudobulbs look absolutely atrocious. This black one here is not good at all. There's some dead growth in here, and I do believe, let's just pull it out here. It's packed in sphagnum moss, and jam-packed in sphagnum moss, and I don't believe there's going to be very many good roots in here. Actually, in the bottom of the pot, I don't know if you can see it, there are some nice white roots down there, so there is hope. It just needs to get cleaned up. We're going to take off the flower spike, and we're going to repot it into a more well-draining mix, and get it out of all of that sphagnum moss. The poor thing. Anyway, I'll bring you in a little bit closer, and we'll clean it up. I found this other tag in here. It's called Oncidopsis, Stefan lava flow. I don't know who put this tag in there, because this tag was also in there. This actually looks like my label, but I don't know. I don't even know. So anyway, I'm going to take some scissors here, and I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol. This is 70% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to put it on a little sponge. Just douse the sponge, and we're going to wipe down the scissors to sterilize them, because this poor thing, I don't know what's going on with it, so I just want to be on the safe side. Don't want to cause any transfer of disease or fungus. I've also got these other pruners that I might end up needing to chop away some of the other pseudobulb activity, but we'll see when it comes time. Actually, I might as well clean those. Can't hurt. I got the alcohol here. Not for drinking. Bill, you're so funny. So I'm just going to wipe these down. Want to disinfect everything we can. Should be wearing gloves, but I'm not. Oh well, can't have everything safe. Alright, so, many of you ask, where do you cut off a flower spike of an Oncidium? Well, an Oncidium, when it finishes blooming, chances are it's not going to produce any more secondary spikes like a Phalaenopsis might, or it's not a, usually it's not a sequential bloomer. I'm not going to say that there is no sequential bloomers for Oncidium. I don't believe that there is, but anything's possible. So you're going to get it down as close to the pseudobulb as you can get it. So this one, it's all damaged up in there, so I can't really see where it actually meets the pseudobulb. So I'm just cutting it down as far as I can go, and hopefully that will be fine. So we've got this flower spike that is pretty well all dried up. The flowers are falling off. It was a really, really pretty one. The flowers at the local orchid show were much bigger than this. Well, not much bigger. Maybe a ½ centimeter bigger, but still much more healthy looking than this one was. This plant's under stress, so it's to be expected that you're going to have either smaller flowers or not as nice of a show. All right, so let's take it out of its pot. We're going to take out all of the frills that are in it. We've got these plant spikes Sorry, I'm just putting these away. Can use those at another time. We're just going to remove all of the moss from the roots here. Looks like it was recently repotted. It was in a 4-inch pot, and they just added more soil to it, or more moss. We're going to work at removing as much of this as possible. Then we're going to remove any dead material that we can. I'm going to pause the video now. I don't want to rush and make this into a shorter video. I want to be careful because, as you can see in here, there are some white root tips, and those are good roots. So if I want to make sure that the plant is still in good shape, I want to keep as many of those as possible. So I'll have to slow it down. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cleaned up quite a bit of the root system here. Some of it I wasn't able to get as much out as I'd like. Most of these roots are doing okay. Some of them are not looking so good, but for the most part, even the ones that don't look so good, there seems to be like a growth tip coming off of them. So I don't know what to think. So I'm just going to remove a few of these roots. The ones that look squishy or have the outer casing off and it just looks like a little piece of thread, can remove those. But as you can see here, right here, there's little white tips. And then see this root here. You would think that would be a dead root, but there's stuff growing off the side of it, so that's promising. So I don't want to take too much off. One thing that bothers me about Oncidium sometimes is the new growth. It doesn't grow with the pot. It doesn't necessarily grow along the pot with the rhizome. Sometimes the rhizome goes up, and then you get a bulb, and then a bulb, and then a bulb, and then you get these roots down here that aren't at the soil level. But you kind of want them in the soil level, but you can't plant them, like I'd have to plant the plant on its side like this so that these new roots would have a place to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to find here, there's a natural division right in by my finger. It's just a little rhizome that it's holding on by. So I'm just going to cut that off. So we're going to plant this in the soil at this level so that these roots are in the pot. This here, I'm going to remove this old pseudo bulb with my pruners. Let me get it in frame here. Squishy. It's gross. It's starting to rot out. It's starting to rot out. Yuck. So, and then I've also got some dead material in here. I'm going to try to clean this up as best I can. It's hard to get in. It's hard to get in there with the scissors. Gross. So because this still has some decent root system to it, I'm going to plant it in the soil as well. There's a yellow leaf I want to get rid of. Anything else here that's not looking so good? Oh, everything else looks okay. So yeah, I'm going to plant them in the soil together. I'm going to plant this one right beside, and I'm going to have it at the regular level. And then this one here might send out some more offshoots, and maybe in time I can separate them completely into their own pots. But right now, I want them to go together. I don't have the space to have two pots of the same thing. So anyway, I'm going to use the Orchid mix. This is a Schultz Orchid mix, and it's a a coarse bark mixed with some perlite and some charcoal. And I'm also going to use some spagna moss. I like to use a little bit of spagna moss in all of my orchids just because I'm a lazy grower. If I wasn't a lazy grower, I'd probably just use bark mix and maybe a little bit of sphagnum. They like to be watered regularly, but they like to really drain well. So keep that in mind. Not sure if I'm going to reuse this old pot. No, you know what? I'm going to switch pots. I just got some new pots. I got these from Plant World when I was over at the Orchid show. We stopped off at Plant World, and I think that this one would be a better fit because I'm going to put this off to the side, and then we're going to have this one doing its own thing on this side. So the slightly larger pot will be beneficial, I think. So I'm going to put a thin layer. Actually, let me move the camera down just a bit. Okay, so we've got the pot. I should have done that a little earlier. It might have been easier for you to see what I was pruning. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll move all this garbage off to the side. And I'm going to put some of the sphagnum moss in the bottom. This way, there is a moisture guard here. I seem to do all my orchids a little bit differently. Not sure if you noticed that. So now I'm going to add some of the bark in here. And now I'm going to place my plant in just off to the side. Actually, I might spin it around this way. Why this way, you ask? Because the older bulbs are on this side and the newer growth was coming from this side, so if it starts putting out anything new, it might put it out going into the center of the pot, and that would be beneficial. So now I'm going to add a little bit more moss. Not a lot. Just going to throw it in there. This way when I water, it will it'll allow a little bit more time with moisture around the roots, but not so much that it is constantly soaking wet. Now I'm going to grab some more bark. We're going to fill this in. In a second we're going to press it down firmly. You want to keep the orchid at the same level it was pretty much as when it was potted before. You don't want to bury them too deeply, otherwise you're going to get some rot. Okay, so now we're going to plant these little guys in this little section here. And with this is the back side. So we're going to put the back side towards the edge of the pot so that as it grows a new bulb, the new bulb is going to go towards the center. And I'm going to plant it so that the roots are at soil level, and I'm going to grab just a little bit of sphagnum moss. I'm going to dress around the roots of this plant. It'll really appreciate it. We don't want to, again, have too much moisture that it rots, but you want it to hold a little bit. New developing roots like a little bit of moisture too. Alright. And now I'm just going to top dress around this pot with more damp sphagnum moss. I'm going to pack in the bark. Don't pack it in tight as concrete, but you want to have nice good contact with the media and the orchids. Okay. Just got to wring out this sphagnum moss. You don't want them to move around. You want them to feel secure in their home. Wonderful. So I'm just going to take from my my stockpile of fun things that came out of other orchids. I've got this orchid spike Just going to stick that down in the pot, and I should have some of those clips. Okay, so I've got an orchid clip here. Just going to, let me see if I can make it so that you can see what I'm doing. Just going to take it, and I'm going to go at an old leaf and just to hold it in place. I don't want to really disturb things too much. I don't want to attach it too difficult or too hard. I just want to have something to stabilize it so it doesn't rock and roll all over the place. So this orchid is ready to go under my grow lights, and we'll come back and revisit it soon, and hopefully, well, in the next couple of months, and hopefully we see some new growth, maybe some another bloom spike. I doubt we'll see that, but at least hopefully we see some healthy new growth, and the pseudobulbs, hopefully they stay nice and plump rather than being shriveled up. So fingers crossed that this one does well. Oop, and I'll put the tags in here as well. Don't want to forget the tags. And if we were smart, and I'm not, we would be writing the date that we did this transplant so that we know in a year's time it might need to be transplanted again. At least then you have a date, because in my head I forget when I do things, and 3 years might go by and it feels like yesterday. So just so that you're aware, when you did your repotting, you could go back and reference it. Anyway, thanks for watching, happy growing, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and yeah, show me what you're growing. Maybe you have some orchids that are in need of some love. Maybe you've rescued a few. Let me know how they're doing. Maybe send me photos over Facebook at the Plants and Things What's Growing page. I'd love to see them. So anyway, till the next episode, I suppose. The flower had a short stalk. I think the stalk was maybe 12 inches tall, maybe 14 inches tall, and it had smaller, very vibrant red blooms. Really beautiful. So that one's ready to go. It's a really healthy size bulb.